I want to say thank you for 400,000 subscribers. Every 100,000 I try and do a video of my collections. And I'm going to talk about my 5 animals that I currently have. 3 dogs and 2 cats. And I'm going to start here. This is Bear. Bear is about 3 years old. I got him in Chattanooga, Tennessee with Taylor. We were driving through from New Orleans back to New York. And we stopped at a flea market. And we bought Bear at a flea market in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We were driving home and it turns out he had parvo, which was really unfortunate because the first vet we stopped at said you should put him to sleep. By the time we got back to New York, the second vet we met said you should put him to sleep. And so we found my full-time vet that takes care of all my other animals introduced us to a Dr. Shabbat. And Dr. Shabbat took Bear home and nursed him back to health and gave him IV and whatever antibiotics it took to get him back to life. So 2 vets told us we should put him down before we even got him back to New York. I'm going to be open and honest and say that I didn't want a big dog. I had a lot of problems. Me and Taylor fought a lot about it, and I didn't want a big dog in the city, but Bear's turned out to be such a great dog. Taylor does a great job training him.
Bisou Jimmy.
Bisou, good boy. Bear. Bisou. Bisou. Oh, good boy. Want Bisou? Oh, boy. Bisou. That means kiss in French, I think. French? Yeah. So that's Bear. Let's go in the house and I'll show you some of the other animals we got. This is Lucky. Lucky, say hi to everybody. He's a little uncomfortable. Lucky's about 14 years old. Lucky came into my life actually as my neighbor in June of 2004. He lived next door to the shop that I owned with my girlfriend at the time. And he would always wander in the store. He was never on a leash. And he would come and see Woody. Woody was my other Yorkie. And they were friends, and they would hang out a little bit together. And then a few years later, so that was 2004, by 2006-07, I moved away. I was off the block for a couple of years. And while I was away, Jeannie, Lucky's mom, went into the hospital, and she didn't come out. And while she was in the hospital, before they knew what her situation would be, they asked me to watch Lucky. So in Valentine's Day 2007, I was given Lucky to take care of. And I immediately started putting him on the TV show Hammered. He came with me to work every day because that's when I was making Hammered in that winter of 2007. And Jeannie unfortunately passed away a few months later, and Lucky has been my dog ever since. And he got along really good with Woody. He's still pretty healthy. He's totally deaf. He lost his hearing about, when did you lose your hearing? About 2 years ago. The way I realized he lost his hearing is because I would come home and he wouldn't get out of bed. He usually comes up and I just thought, wow, he's really sleeping heavily. And then as time went on, I started realizing he wasn't obeying me, and that was when I realized he wasn't hearing me. He has seizures from time to time. It takes him about 3 or 4 hours to recover. But so far he's been good. He's on anti-seizure medicine right now. He takes every day. But so far so good. And he's getting along well with Bear and the cats. And he's slowly learning to get along with Yoko, the New Yorkie, which I'll talk about in a minute. Right? Say hi, Lucky. You hear him moaning. He moans all the time. He never barks. Unless he really wants attention, he never barks. Woody did all the barking in the past. Lucky is rabble-rousing. He does this to get comfortable. It seems all Yorkies do this. Lucky, calm down. He can't hear me anyway. But so meet LuLu. LuLu. Years ago, I had a male cat named Louie who came to me through a friend who had had a baby and he couldn't keep him anymore. So Louie was my cat for years, and Louie, actually there's a video, I'll link it, of Louie used to hump my leg. And so one of my first YouTube videos was Louie humping my leg. And Louie passed away. He ended up getting mouth cancer, which was real sad, in 2009. He was about 12 years old when he died. So now fast forward to about 2 years ago, I'm in my shop and I keep hearing a cat meow. And I thought it was a neighbor upstairs, and I figured the neighbor wasn't feeding the cat in time. And then it was like 6 or 7 days went by, and I continuously heard this cat meowing. And then one day, my building in New York City where I work is 2 buildings connected. So I walk through a little archway that is the pathway between the 2 buildings. And it's the old air shaft, which now has this sort of tunnel built through it. And I heard right outside the bricks the cat meowing. So I thought, wow, she could only be stuck in the bottom of the air shaft, which is pretty far down from the first apartment. So I got the keys to the other storage unit, and we opened up the unit, me and my friend who had the key, and LuLu come running out. She was a tiny little kitten, well, not tiny, but skinny, really skinny. She was probably about maybe 6 months old, and she looked just like Louie, so we call her LuLu, because she looked like my old Maine Coon cat named Louie. And so I brought her home, and I thought we would just foster her, find a place where to put her. She followed me all around the shop those few hours when I first let her out of the air shaft. She stayed right beside me, which was pretty amazing because she's so feisty. She'll run all over the place. I'm surprised she hasn't run away right now. She loves to bite. You see that? She put on a lot of weight since she's been here. But when we brought her home, I brought her home. She was covered with fleas, by the way, which Taylor was able to get rid of the fleas. Lucky's right here. He's moaning. And so we got rid of her fleas, and she immediately started playing with Bear. Right? You and Bear get along really well. So her and Bear started playing, and since we had only had Bear for a couple months, we felt it was meant to be. They were playing around together all the time, and now they still play around. She has razor-sharp claws, and she swats him all the time. We try and remember to clip her claws, but Bear just keeps going. He hasn't been hurt yet. He's never yelped, right? She doesn't care. Now she catches flies, and up here, we're in the country this week, she loves running around the yard. She runs all the way down to the beaver pond and back. She's such a pain in the ass. Say hi to everybody. She loves to bite. That's LuLu. Okay, go. Go get Spike. Go get Spike. You found him. Where's Spike? And look who's here. Spike. Spike, want to tell you a story? So sometime around when I did that first video where I made the tips about hot glue. So earlier that day, Spike had come to the shop for the very first time. He had never been to the shop. I bought out a wood shop from my friend David, who was moving to California. And when I was kind of going back and forth, because there was several truckloads of stuff, it was a lot of wood and it was a lot of tools. And one of the last things he asked me if I wanted was Spike. So I actually I sent a picture to Taylor. I said, "What do you think of Spike?" And she said, "Bring him home. We'll find a home for him." And the day that I shot the hot glue video, Spike was dropped off about 4 hours before that, and he was just getting acquainted with the shop. He grew up in David's shop, a shop in Brooklyn, full-on wood shop, so he was totally used to table saws and chop saws and all kinds of stuff. And according to David, he's about 14 years old. He was in his family the whole time, and when they moved, they just couldn't bring because they were about to have a new baby, and Spike is a little bit lazy, and they just wanted to keep him in New York. Right, Spike? So he goes outside up here. LuLu will spend 2 hours trying to catch one fly. Spike will try and catch a fly that's like right within his reach. It's really funny. And Spike and Bear get along really good. If you could see who's lying right next to him. Bear, where's Spike? Give Spike a bisou. Good boy. See that? He loves him. So now Spike is our cat. He doesn't live in the shop like you might think because there's so many ways to get out of the shop and there's so many people coming and going. I wouldn't want him to disappear. So he stays in the apartment when we do the tip videos. He comes to work with me. It's about a 2-block walk. All right, buddy? All right, buddy? He's totally relaxed. He loves it up here in the sunshine. What do you see, LuLu? See a fly? What do you see? By the way, that's a canoe handmade by the Offerman wood shop. When Nick and I did a video together where I shot him building a canoe for canoe how-to for Bear Mountain boats, the deal was that I would get paid a little bit of money and Nick would build 2 canoe kits and I'd get to keep one and Nick would keep one. But Nick built the canoe and then he got Parks and Rec just when he kind of was about 50% completed with this one. So a couple of the people at the Offerman wood shop finished it up. I don't know specifically who, but I think Lee was instrumental in it. As far as I know, and a few other people worked on it. So Nick just sent that out to me about 3 months ago. So that is the canoe that was actually used in the last scene of Parks and Rec when Nick took it out in the lake. That's the Lucky Boy, and it's named specifically after Lucky. This is Yoko. This is not Lucky. But the Lucky Boy canoe named after Lucky. Because while we were working on the video, if you get a chance to see, there's some clips on YouTube, I'll link them, of me and Nick working. A couple times I brought Lucky to the shoot with me, and he just ran around the workshop floor. So he might even be in the DVD. I don't remember what the final edit looked like. But that's the Lucky Boy canoe, made by the Offerman wood shop primarily. When Woody passed away in September, right away a couple of people said, are you going to get another Yorkie? And I looked at Taylor, I said, you know what? Animals keep coming into our life. We don't have to go and seek them out. So let's see what happens. Let's not get anything until something comes into our life. And then about 3 weeks ago, a friend on the block said, hey, I'm acquiring a Yorkie from a family that can't take care of her anymore. I want her for my daughter. But she's very feisty and a little bit untrained. She kind of nips a little bit at people she doesn't like and other animals she doesn't like. But she likes me and she likes Taylor, so she's learning training from both of us. And she's really well behaved around us. And we're kind of crate training her a little bit because she's a little untrained. She's about 3 years old, right? Are you 3 years old? I think she said she's 3 years old. And it's funny because we just lost Woody, and Woody just loved to lick my face. And here she is doing exactly what Woody did. So she kind of, what? She found something. So this is Yoko, the Yorkie. She's 3 years old, and we're fostering her. We might give her back. I'm not sure what exactly is going to become of her, but she's in the family, at least at the moment, right? Yoko. Now onto the eyeballs. Keep going, go ahead. Keep going. Lucky only does this when he's in the mood. She'll do it no matter what. Lucky does it like once a week. By the way, look at this beautiful chair. We paid $5 for it, and Taylor did this leather weave on it. $5 for the frame. You can see the beautiful texture in it. We got it at a garage sale up here. And Taylor did that beautiful leather work. No video, it's just monotonous leather sewing. Every end is hand stitched, woven, and then hand stitched at the other side. Pretty incredible. So now we're always looking for these frames to see if we can't do more like this. So we have Lucky, Bear, and Yoko. The cats ran away. They're on the floor somewhere. Just wanted to say thank you for 400,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. At 500,000, I'm going to do the final version of the printing press. I've just decided. So maybe, hopefully that'll be soon, within the month. We'll see where it goes. Thank you all so much. Look at Bear. Bear, say hi to everybody on YouTube.